Hi. Hello. And welcome to John is Bored. Here on John is Bored, I will present to you the most potentially demented idea I've ever come up with on the fly. Oh boy. Crazy style. I do love that meme. There's a very few like modern day memes that I like. I do like the bouncing on it meme. Okay. So, long story short, I am a indecisive fuck. Don't ask me what we want for dinner because I will waffle about. I'll tell you that, oh, you know what? I'm feeling this. Maybe I'm feeling a little pasta. Maybe I'm feeling a little Chinese. Maybe I'm feeling a little Thai. And I will not have a proper answer for you. Don't ask me what we want to do because I will say, you know what? Maybe we stay inside. Maybe we play games. Maybe go out for walkies. Maybe we go hiking. Yeah. Don't ask me to make decisions. That being said, today I was trying to figure out, you know what? I feel like a nice, calm, relaxing stream. Maybe we'll play some games with chat. Maybe we will relax. Maybe we will have some fun games and potentially lose some. But it didn't feel right. Something didn't feel quite fitting. So, as I was sitting there, my wife was watching some Pokemon videos, and I decided, you know what? I'm always being asked to do a Poke Smash or Pass. Here's my idea. Rather than passing, what if I just give you one reason to smash for as many Pokemon as I can? Yeah, we're just going to go down the line. Every single Pokemon. The rules are as follows. I need to go in whatever order that this website presents it to me, which I believe is... I don't want to say it for sure, but I believe is the correct like Pokédex order. And 2, I cannot move on until I come up with something unique. You are free to call me out. You are free to say, hey, you've already said this for X and X Pokemon. I'm going to do my goddamn well best. Gonna do my goddamn well best. And I don't know how this is going to go. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Also, congrats on taking the crown from Blade Runner Orange Pulp. Hi, Pursuer. Hi, Blade Runner. Thank you for the 30 months, Orange Pulp. Glad to have you back. Hi, Zindani. All right. Y'all ready for this? Because I'm not. Okay. So, position-wise, ideally, I would like to move this like here so I can just have it like displaying on the side so that I can stay where I am now. I don't know if that's possible without, you know, cutting. I have an idea. We're going to open up Photoshop. If it doesn't smash Snorlax, I'll break his knees. Why Snorlax specifically? That's such like a... this needs to happen statement, and I'm very curious as to why you decided that would be your ride or die hill. All right. Let's see. Grab the snipping tool. We're just going to cut out this color here. Copy. Paste it here. We want this color. As you can tell, I've done no prior setup to this. I have not thought about this at all. I did not plan this. It was all just spur of the moment. Here we go now. All right. Y'all ready? And feel free to jump in with your own opinions. Maybe I'll agree with them. Maybe I won't. Also, hi, Briar. All right. First, to begin with, our good old boy, Bulbasaur. The starter for many a aspiring Pokemon trainer. The first Pokemon that many picked out of the 3 available when they first started on their Pokemon journey. Now, Bulbasaur. Do you see that bulb on the back of its back? Do you see how that bulb is nice and round with a tiny little bump, perfectly suited for, as the kids say, bouncing on it? Need I say more? I present the perfect, what's that device called? Sybian. The perfect Sybian? You can bounce on it for as long as you like, and as long as that bulb is hitting the right place, you'll be good. Continuing on. Oh, no, it's not in the Pokedex order. It's just in evolution order. Okay. Ivysaur. Look, that very precious bulb that was perfect for riding on is now opened up into a bud, a budding flower. And what better symbolism for, I guess specifically heterosexual sex, is there than a budding flower ready to bloom and let you dive in between the petals? I present to you the perfect exploration. Oh my god. Hold on, I have to organize my thoughts for this one. I present to you the perfect Pokemon to explore what parting the petals really feels like. And it's only with this that you can truly feel that soft caress of the leaves, the soft caress of the silken flower petals upon your lips. Practice on the Ivysaur. Now the Venusaur. This is what I like to call gap moe. You went from these cute little adorable things that look like they'd be super nice to cuddle to this old grizzled veteran who's sat through all the wars, seen the horrors of the world, and now carries that weight upon their back like this gigantic plant weighing down, driving them into the ground. Now remember, experience is far more valuable than stamina. It doesn't matter that they're older. What matters is the experience that they have that they can bring to the table. And with how wrinkled, look at his eyes, like look at those tired eyes. Look at that bumpy skin. With how wrinkled and aged Venusaur is in comparison to his compatriots, you know that he'll be bringing that experience to you. Smash. I have made a grave error. I have made a grave error. All right. Charmander. Let's be real, the popular starter choice. The Pokemon that everyone decides they want, you know what? My starting Pokemon needs to be something cool. And so they pick, let's be real, he's just the gateway to picking a Charizard. But what people don't understand is his potential, his amazing utility for temperature play. That little flame on the end of his tail is perfectly conditioned, perfectly at the right temperature to softly melt wax onto your skin. And as a fire type, he knows how to control that fire. He knows how to use it to gently caress you, to heat up the room until it's just the perfect right temperature to get down and dirty. And thus I say, with Charmander, you can broaden your horizons, try something new, because let's be real, not everyone has tried temperature play, candle play, and this Pokemon is the perfect chance to give that a shot. Smash. No, we're not putting his flame out. We're not putting his flame out. We're utilizing his flame for the intended purpose. And it goes well. Now, Charmeleon. Unfortunately, Charmeleon suffers from the middle brother syndrome. Not quite as cute and adorable as Charmander, and not quite that like badass dragon that is Charizard. But that's okay. Because what people don't understand about the middle child is the middle child is the one who gets overlooked. And because they get overlooked, they're constantly looking to impress. They're constantly looking to get your attention and do something that makes you feel good. So you can count on Charmeleon as the most middle brother of all middle brothers to be the one who's there for you when times are tough. When you need someone to be there, he will be there because he knows what it's like to be overlooked. He knows what it's like to be ignored. And that is why Charmeleon will be the perfect life partner. So you better smash him now and get it over with. Oh my god, that was the most convoluted argument I think I've ever made. All right. Big boy Charizard. For some reason, is wifey hearing this? You know what? She might, and I don't really want to ask. All right. Charizard. For whatever reason, the huge flame-breathing dragon, that's not a dragon type. Not going to question that. Just going to ask Nintendo, what the fuck? But Charizard, he's big, he's burly, he giga slams you down into the mattress, he seismic tosses you through the air, he flies you above the clouds. Look, everyone at some point in their life thought Charizard was cool. And while he might not be a lifelong partner, we all wanna get with the cool guy in school at some point in our lives. It doesn't matter if it's not for life. What matters is you just want to try it out once. And so might as well start early. If you see that Charizard, smash that Charizard. I feel like I can come up with a better argument than that. Hi, Kaiser. I don't want to get with the cool guy in school. No. Don't lie to yourself, Bladerum. Don't lie to yourself. Both the cool guy and the cool girl of the school are traditionally known to turn the entire student population by, even by a slight pie slice, fragmentation slice. There will be that slight questioning of, oh, what if? And that is what Charizard brings to the table. With his dual types, he's the perfect type to make you appreciate your binariness. Hi, Kaiser. Yes, we are. I'm giving a unique reason to smash for every single Pokemon. All right. Squirtle. Now, hear me out. Have you heard of bubble play? Have you ever felt the sensation of a bunch of tiny bubbles hitting you in your private parts? No? Well, now you can try that with Squirtle. Now, Squirtle can unleash the perfect bubble beam straight into your crotch. And you... Exactly. Like a hot tub. We all, at some point, upon getting into a hot tub, we have absolutely just wondered, you know what? What would happen if you just got really close to those jets? What would happen if you got really, really close to those strong, bubbling jets. And for a brief few seconds, it was great. It was lovely. But you couldn't control the jacuzzi jets. You couldn't really control the strength. You couldn't control the flow. You couldn't control the direction. Well, right here is a Pokemon who learns Bubble Stream very early and is the perfect Pokemon to teach you exactly what the perfect stream of soft, popping, soapy bubbles caressing your crotch feels like. That's water jet though, not bubble play. It's a similar thing. It's a similar thing. It's a similar experience, just you have a better one with Squirtle. Bubble beam. Yes, what did I say? Did I say bubble stream? I said bubble beam. Bubble beam. So, go smash the Squirtle. Now, Wartortle. Look, unfortunately, just as Charmeleon is the middle brother of the Fire Dragon lineage, Wartortle kind of doesn't get that good of a rap either. He's got these little wings coming out of his head. He's got this like fluffy tail. People just really aren't sure what to do with a Wartortle in most cases. Here's my suggestion. Squirtle is too small. Blastoise is too big. If you ever seen Ash standing next to his Blastoise, you'll notice the Blastoise is like standing like a good head and shoulders above him, and Squirtle barely comes up to his knee. So you will never properly be able to experience what it feels like to rub yourself against Wartortle's abs. Just like Goldilocks of the Three Bears, Wartortle is the perfect size for him to lay on his back and for you to ride his quote-unquote abs, the underside of his shell. It's smooth, it's cool, it's always nice to the touch, it's got texture, it's got bumps, it's got plenty of different areas for you to explore. That underside of the shell is made to bounce on. But you can't have that with Squirtle and Blastoise. So Wartortle offers you that singular, precious moment before he becomes too big. And then you have to worry about being a size king or queen. Now, Blastoise. Now here's where things are going to get a little interesting. I present to you two, count them, two possible avenues depending on the type of genitals that you have. Blastoise has two cannons. That means, hey, this isn't Pokedex order so far. Oh, I take it back. Pokedex order it is. Okay. Blastoise has two water cannons, which means he's already set up for a threesome because those cannons are perfect. If you're a guy, fill that with a little bit of lube that, maybe he just naturally creates because he's a water type. And you can, if you own a penis, just maybe fill the inside with a little bit of lube, enjoy the grooves, enjoy the rifling of the cannon, and you'll really get the perfect fit to your donger. Now, if you're a lady, I'm trying to remember the size difference for this. If you're a lady and, small just isn't doing it for you anymore, medium just isn't doing it anymore, normal human proportions just isn't doing it for you anymore. If you have a vagina, why not take it to the next step? why not go beyond Ultra and see what a water cannon feels like? I promise you, the Blastoise is alive. It can pull back when it becomes too much, and it can help you work your way through it. It's perfect. You can really test your limits. And if you remember, the water cannons are, if I remember right, they have a flanged head. So you can slowly test what it feels like to really take something so far beyond human that you'll never ever be able to experience this with anything else ever again. Blastoise offers you that singular golden experience. I think I'm having a stroke listening to it. Listening to me trying to puzzle through this, or like listening to me trying to reason through this. Caterpie! Look, he's adorable, he's small, he's a bug. You know, some people aren't really like comfortable with bugs. That's okay. Because what Caterpie specializes in is spinning threads. Just like a little silkworm. And because it's like a little silkworm, you know those threads are soft, they're gentle, they can be sticky or they can be not sticky. We've seen Caterpie in the anime use its threads to move around. So we know that those threads can be used either to cling to your skin and gently restrain you, or they can be used to almost like ropes used to tie you up. In fact, I present the proposition that Caterpie is the master Shibari user. And it is only through Caterpie that you'll experience what a master's touch is really like. After all, Caterpie has to weave its own cocoon out of its threads. What, if nothing else, what else would be a perfect Pokemon for breaking into the Shibari world? I present to you, Caterpie. Metapod. Look, I'll be real upfront about this one. It has Harden. It's shaped like a dildo. Use it to your best pleasure. Go for it. Have fun. It can harden multiple, I think it hardened like up to 10 times, I think, from what I remember the game. You can get as hard as hell. You can control the hardness. Maybe you just want it slightly stiff, but maybe you want it rock hard. Perfect. Metapod. Butterfree. If you read the description, in battle, it flaps its wings at high speed to release highly toxic dust into the air. But as we know, Butterfree has multiple types of dust available, which are basically like the scales that fall off its wings. So, let's say regular intercourse isn't doing it for you anymore. Let's presuppose that regular vanilla sex with Pokemon just isn't really getting your rocks off. You have the master of substances at your disposal. Butterfree can manufacture different kinds of scales for different effects. It has sleep powder, it has paralysis, paralyzed powder, paralyzed dust, something. It has paralyzed something. It has different kinds of seeds. It has different kinds of grass-based moves. All of these are meant to put you into different states of intoxication or mental stimulus. And so, if you really, really want to try amping up your next sexual experience, bring a Butterfree. Let the Butterfree work its magic on you, and you will enter a whole new world. The world might be rainbow and spinning, and people might be laughing crazily, but it'll be a whole new world. Please do not fuck Mothra. Oh boy. Weedle. No, Feathers. We are giving a singular reason to smash every single Pokemon, and we're going to work our way down the line. So yes, I did kind of smash the first 12. Weedle. It is no secret that deep in the darkest recesses of our mind, there is a part of us that is interested in knife play. That's not for Weedle. That is for his bigger brother. If you want to know what it feels like to have that tiny bit of danger, because what is more dangerous than a sharp, venomous needle? But at the same time, the venom isn't life-threatening. It's not going to kill you. You have, I'd say approximately, let's say it ticks every like 3 to 4 steps. So you have approximately 90 steps to get to the antidote or the hospital and get yourself treated. But what that does mean is, if you're not ready for the big leagues, if you're not ready to really experience blood play, Weedle... Shit, that is a great point, Kaiser. Shit, I forgot about that one. You know what, we're going to roll with it. Weedle is the perfect introduction to what would it be like to play with sharp objects during sexual arousal. I'll tell you right now, it's very stimulating. Kakuna. Now, you know how in some ways Metapod is very similar to Kakuna, but they have their unique appeals. And here's what I present to you. I present you this proposal. Metapod is for work in the front. Kakuna is for the party in the back. Look at that shape. Look at the bulbing head. Look at like the little flange that's perfectly set to close around your sphincter. Kakuna, like Metapod, can also harden for forever. And so, Kakuna is perfectly made to explore the back door. Because you can adjust it if you want it really soft. Maybe that's what you're into. Maybe you want it really, really soft so that you don't have to worry about severe insertions. But maybe you already are at practice. Maybe you've already done a little bit of stretching. Kakuna getting very, very hard will get you the perfect rigidity that you are seeking. Does Primate just beat you? We haven't gotten to Primate. I will come up with something when we get to Primate. Beedrill. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm going to propose something, and it's going to be a little out there. It's going to be a little crazy. Take a Beedrill. What does it have at on its 2 hands? Cones. How big is a Beedrill compared to a regular human? We've seen in the art that it's about the same size as Ash, so pretty sizable. Let's say you were strolling through the internet and you discovered that people really enjoy the sensation of stretching around, say, something like a hand or an arm. And let's say that you yourself are not really sure how to even begin exploring that. Beedrill, with its cone-shaped, quote-unquote, hands, is perfect for beginning your journey into really testing your flexibility. If you just blunt the tips, or if Beedrill's very, very careful, maybe you like that danger. Maybe you enjoy that little thrill. The slowly expanding shape of the cones is perfectly made to slowly insert via the Eiffel Tower method so that you can experience true flexibility and stretching. You won't get this in any other Pokemon. No other Pokemon has these two unique appendages. And thus only Beedrill will offer you that perfect stretch, like a trainer at the gym. Pokemon humans have kinks you never heard of. Look, we've all seen the leaks. We've read that one book in Pokemon Platinum, I think it was, where we know that humans got married to Pokemon. All we're doing is just opening your eyes to a whole new world that you were too afraid to explore. All right. Pidgey. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This one's going to be hard. It's definitely making me think. I'm desperately trying to think here. It's a bird. It is the most normal Pokemon animal I've ever seen. It's a normal flying bird. I don't even think it has any like weird special moves. It just has like move quickly, hits something. Egg laying? No, because the egg laying experience, you want to experience the egg laying. It's not like you don't get any pleasure off of seeing it lay the egg. I am trying so hard to come up with something to figure this one out. Also, hold on. Wait. Hold just a second. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to make this work. Why does it keep doing that? Go off the screen. Okay, no, it's not going off the screen. All right, I tried. All right, Pidgey. You cannot put your... No, Jarl. Where there's a will, there's a goddamn way, all right? Where there's a will, there's a goddamn way. Okay. Size difference. We all know there's individuals who enjoy the concept and feeling of someone much larger and heavier than them on top of something much smaller. Pidgey presents the opposite of that. Pidgey... I'm trying so desperately to be very, very careful with what I'm saying. You know what? Okay, here, I got it. No, I don't. I legitly am struggling to come up with something for this one. Okay. Okay. Have you ever wanted to feel the sensation of a tiny, sharp beak making its way down your genital organ? Hi, Napoleon. Note, it is not wholesome. Well, I present to you Pidgey. It doesn't have enough strength in its beak to really to really cause any damage. But if you've ever wanted to feel the caress of a sharp, smooth bird beak against your genitals, you at least have Pidgey, who doesn't have enough power to truly harm you and therefore allows you the possibility to really just feel that I think beaks are made out of cartilage, to really feel that cartilage drumming up and down your genitals. Maybe you're into that. Maybe that's something that you really, really enjoy. And maybe you really, really enjoy the pitter patter of the little feet as it walks up and down your body to do so. You know what? Then Pidgey is just for you. Pidgeotto. Yet another middle brother, because let's be perfectly honest here, it is really freaking hard to tell the difference between a Pidgeotto and a Pidgeot. Pidgeot? Pidgeot. I forgot what the last one's called. Between a Pidgeotto and its older sibling at first glance. They look really damn similar. But if you read the description, very protective of its sprawling territorial area, this Pokemon will fiercely peck at any intruder. Pidgeotto is a defender. When you're feeling vulnerable, when you need physical protection, when you're worried that that one car driving behind you has been following you for a few too many streets down, has been taking some of the same too many turns as you, you call in your partner Pidgeotto, because Pidgeotto will throw claws, throw beaks for you. It will savage any stalkers. It will claw any robbers. It will tear out the eyes of any molesters. Don't worry. With Pidgeotto by your side, you never need fear the night. You never need fear being alone, because you are its territory. There's probably some like claiming kink in there too, but you are its territory. Pidgeot. It's a big bird. I don't know how birds have intercourse. I don't actually think I've ever seen a bird's dick. But it's a big bird. It's bigger than a human. Humans can ride this thing. So you know what? If you have a thing for feathers, beaks, and talons, Pidgeot is the perfect candidate to satisfy everything you need. I don't know what feathers are called. Like, if you are into feathers, is there a term for that? Like, there's scalies, there's furries. What is a feathers? Avian? Are you an avian? If you're an avian, this is your man. This is your boy. This is your thing that is suited perfectly for you. I see no ducks. Oh, wait, I have seen a duck's penis. Hold on, never mind. Okay, you know what? That last statement I gave? No. Throw away that last statement. It was a stupid statement. Have you ever seen a duck's penis? A duck's penis is made to explosively shoot outwards and corkscrew its way through a female duck's vagina in order to achieve maximum penetration. There's a whole bunch of other reasons for it, but basically the penis shoots off like a corkscrew and fills whatever space it can. Now imagine that happening inside you. Pidgeot. He's big, he's a little freaky, but you will never have an empty space with Pidgeot to fill it. Can I just say I'm in actual like physical pain on this one? I don't know what possessed me to do this for a stream, but I'm actually like, I'm in physical anguish right now. Okay. Rattata. Oh boy, it's a rat. Okay. This brings to mind. I don't know if I should say this. I feel like this is kind of like outing me. I once read a piece of literature where a bunch of tiny mice ran over, like kind of crawled over and ran over someone's body, and it was physically arousing for them. If you too want to feel a bunch of, you know how like there's all those TikToks. You know how there's all those TikToks of people being swarmed by a bunch of dogs, and they're laughing and looking really happy. Now imagine that, but it's a fetish for some people. Now imagine that there's some people out there who are really into the feeling of a whole bunch of tiny feet running all over them. And you have a Rattata lover. It's niche. It's very, very specific. But you know what? If somebody has a desire, there will be a Pokemon to fill it. And Rattata's your rat for that. Oh boy. I'm not making the mouse joke. Although with the amount of encounters that I've had with a wild Rattata, I probably should have just made the mouse joke. We're saving that for the bunnies. Raticate. Apparently, for its size, Raticate has the largest mouth to body ratio of any Pokemon. And so what that means is it can open its mouth really, really big and really just seal its lips around any orifice you may wish desired sealed. The teeth might be a small thing, but you know what? If you move around the enamel and you get around the size of the teeth, then you have the perfect... You know what? No, I take it back. No one is better than Raticate at giving hickeys. Look at the size of those teeth. Raticate will make sure that when you leave for the night, your entire body from head to toe is covered in tiny... Well, not even tiny, big, giant welts of hickeys. Raticate will make sure that you feel all those little love nibbles because its teeth are that damn big. So if that's your thing, hey, Raticate. Spearow. Okay, can I just point out that Nintendo made 2 normal flying birds? Two? Oh boy. You know what? I'm running out of reasons to sleep with a bird. I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm running out of reasons to sleep with birds. As you can see, Spearow has bigger talons than its cousin, Pidgey. And because of that, Spearow, you will feel a better sense of danger when Spearow's claws are running down your skin. If you really enjoy the sensation of your mid banging and somebody runs their nails down your back, well, you know what? Spearow will be the perfect individual to do that for you. Spearow will ensure that you'll have these giant long red stripes down your back by the time you're done. Look, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Firo. I'm pretty sure Firo is big enough to pick up a human. So, maybe you really like the Mile High Club. Maybe you really, really enjoy the sensation of being up in the air while you're doing the deed. Well, it has a really long beak that can reach around to whatever you need to. And it can just pick you up, shoot you off into the sky, and then use its beak to take care of whatever business you want up there. You wanted to join the Mile High Club without paying for a super expensive ticket that's going to cost you $2,000 just to go from one end of the nation to the next? That's fine. Firo will help you get that Mile High ticket without you having to spend a single cent. And if that's not amazing, I don't know what is. Ekans. There's a part of me that just wants to say, like, look, it's got the same purpose as Metapod. The only difference is it can't harden. But there are certain people who enjoy the feeling of something really long and wriggly being inserted and then wriggling around as it's being inserted. Ekans. And you can have a little bit of with its little rattle, you can have a little bit of accompaniment music to go with it as well. Just a little bit of auditory ASMR to bless your ears as this thing's also like wriggling around inside. Ekans. Arbok. Huh. To be perfectly honest, I can't think of many reasons why you'd want to sleep with a cobra. That just sounds dangerous. You know what? No. Arbok knows the move Constrict. And we all know, based purely off the amount of art online where someone is being consumed erotically, we all know there's plenty of more specific niches than that. And people really have a thing for being constricted, feeling something tight and muscular wrapped around you, slowly crushing the breath out of you. Arbok, as a giant snake with the move Constrict, can hit all those buttons. You wanted something very, very specific? Well, don't worry. We have that niche giver for you right here, Arbok. Oh, God. All right. We've finally come to the mascot, the face of Pokemon, the electric rat. Has anyone heard of electroshock therapy? Here's the problem. Pikachu can't quite control the voltage inside of its body, which is why when you rub its cheeks, they spark. I think there's a Pokédex a Pokédex entry like that. When you rub Pikachu's cheeks, they spark. So, if you wanted to ride the face of Pikachu, your thighs are perfectly positioned to sit right across its cheeks. And that also means that you can control the amount of voltage that is coming out of the Pikachu's cheeks and into your body. You can control if you want it really nice and light shocks, like a little bit of static electricity, or if you want something deeper and heavier, like kind of like energy is surging through your body. It's perfect. Pikachu, the face riding Pokemon. Oh. I made a big mistake. Now, Raichu How many volts can Raichu conduct? How many volts can Raichu produce? Raichu can produce 100,000 volts. Look, if you're really into electroshock play, if you're really, really into it, and you couldn't find a safe way to practice electrovolt pleasure, I present to you the even more dangerous way. This is the way where, like, you couldn't find the safe way. Okay, we're gonna double that down, and we're gonna go all the way to just straight out lethal. Maybe that's what gets you going. Maybe that's what interests you. But Raichu is the Pokemon for when you really just want to experience that flash of lightning once in your life, and then God knows if you make it out again, you probably won't need to experience that ever again. That one went kind of dark. Sandshrew. There are these little... I don't know how big a Sandshrew is, but there are these little orbs that are used, I believe, in Chinese erotica. And they're basically like 3 jade orbs. Decently small. They are made to go inside, and then the way that the balls move are made to perfectly stimulate any erogenous zones that they can reach while inside. By rolling up, how big is the Sandshrew? How big is Sandshrew? 2 feet tall. Okay. Oh, well, okay. This is going to change things different. Look, if you you know how we have the really large dildos, really large adult toys meant to really test your limits? Well, now you have 2 feet rolled up all together into a ball, and you can bloody well see how well inserting that goes. It might be pleasurable. It might be painful. Who knows? You won't know until you try. What, Zindani? What? Look, if it's 2 feet rolled up, that's maybe what, like a foot in diameter, maybe? So yeah, you can probably fit that. If you're very, very adventurous and you've done a lot of pre-stretching beforehand, it will roll up straight inside you. And then you can have it unfurl while it's inside just to really experience a unique sensation. I feel like a lot of my arguments for why these Pokemon would smash is basically an introductory experience. It's basically the whole like, hey, you want to try something? Well, this Pokemon is for you because it gives you a way to try that thing without being too extreme about it. Well, this is the opposite of that. This is the other extreme of that. Sandshrew is the biggest thing that you'll probably ever put inside, and then you can have it unfurl and then crawl through your gullet. I don't know. I'm moving on. Sandslash. Okay. The reason, oh boy. Okay, you know, I got it. Sandslash. Beyond being as big as a human and with these big claws made for gripping you and holding you down with its sheer weight, it is also the perfect defense tool. Hold on, the ad break is starting. We're gonna pause here real fast while I sort out my thoughts and figure out what exactly I'm gonna do for Sandshrew. Oh boy. Does anybody remember how many Pokemon there are in the originals? Is it 150 something? Is that right? 150 something? I might need to speed up through these. I'm only on 28. How many Pokemon are in the original generation? 151 Pokemon. We are a seventh of the way there. I believe in us. I can totally get through all of these. I think my biggest issue is just like there are times where it's just an animal where you're just like, that's just an armadillo, that's just a bird, and the typings did not change that at all. It's literally just a armadillo that can throw sand in your face. It's a bird that can fly. Those are the ones where I'm having like the most severe issues just puzzling through and trying to figure out what would you do with this Pokemon? How would you possibly mishandle this Pokemon and really just embrace the chaos that it brings? Also, for future reference, if I ever come up with an idea like this ever again, can someone please slap me awake? Somebody please just go, no, don't do this to yourself. Bum 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 ba da dun 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 dum ba da da dum ba dun ding ba da ding da ding dong bung dee ding dong dong ding da ding. I actually do wonder who was the first person to go like, you know what, I'd sleep with that Pokemon. I desperately need to know who was the first person to come up with this, why did they come up with this, and what was the unfortunate Pokemon that was the very first one selected. Who was the very first Rule 34 Pokemon? This is knowledge that is needed for the internet so that we have someone to blame. So that we have a very specific individual to say, this is your fault. All right, Sandslash. It's large, it's burly, it holds you down with its big claws. But beyond that, beyond being the perfect size partner, it is also the perfect defense mechanism. It can wrap around you to act as a shield. You can throw it at enemies in its ball form. It'll smack them in the face. They'll scream. They'll get like pinpricks in their eyes. And as they're dealing with that, it unfurls and just cuts away at their ankles with its claws. Sandslash is both pleasure partner and self-defense tool at the same time. Nidoran, female. The only Pokemon to be separated specifically by gender. At least in the first gen. The female Nidoran, I believe, is more venomous than the male. And you know what they say about poison. Poison used correctly is medicine. So, Nidoran using his poison correctly can intoxicate you. Really, I feel like I've already used the substances argument. Yes, I used that with Butterfree. Okay. But Nidoran offers a more specific kind of substance because while Butterfree lays down its powder on your face and you absorb it through your sinuses, Nidoran injects the toxin/medicine straight into your bloodstream. It's going to be a faster high. It's going to be a more complete come down. And the whole time this is happening, you can can be getting serviced. Whether it's by the Pokemon or your other partner, yeah, it's there. Nidorina. This is where, like, I believe its poison starts switching from being a poison into being more physical type. And this is kind of like being held down by the angsty teenager who wants to really dominate you, but isn't really sure what to do. They're not quite that full size necessary to pin you to the ground. They don't have that full strength. And there's something almost adorable about it. It's like there's something cute about it. This, like, they're trying really, really hard. They're doing their best about it, and the feeling is there, but not quite. And you know what? Rather than turning you off, that's instead adorable. It's instead attractive. So, Nidorina, smash. Hi, Creeper. And now we come to the queen herself, Nidoqueen. Look at those thighs. Look at those mammary breastplates. You wanted someone to crush you between their thighs. Nidoqueen's got you. Look at those muscles. Look at that strength. Look at that tail. To move around a body that armored and muscular, Nidoqueen really needs those thick, thick thighs. So, if you, like the thousands of others on the internet, want to get your head crushed between a queen's thighs, Nidoqueen is there for you. Hi, Creeper. What's up? We're giving one unique reason for every Pokemon for Smash, because my brain is stupid. Now, Nidoran M. What's worse is I've actually seen flying by on my Tumblr, on my Twitter timeline, art with Nidoran males. So, all right. Where you had a similar experience to Nidoran female with the venom, now you can get it injected straight into your genitals, because the larger its horns, the more powerful the venom. So you want to find one with a really nice big horn. You want to teach it what to do. And then when it inserts that horn, you're going to get every bit of that high that you need. And it's going to go beyond that, because just like a baby snake. Oh, no, hold on. Let's go back. That's actually dangerous. That's a dangerous pathway to take. With the larger horn, there's more to ride. And you'll have a stronger high. Biologically, let's just go with that. Nidorino. Oh, I think I got it wrong. I think actually the Nidoran female is actually the one that has like a weaker venom. The Nidoran male is the one that's more poison based. Okay, the Nidorino. Quick to attack with a powerful venom. Oh boy. Okay, I guess I'm going down this pathway. Okay. What is quick to attack with... and what is quick to attack and has a powerful weapon against intruders? A guard dog. Appoint Nidorino as your guard dog, and you'll never have to fear any robbers, any break-ins, any intruders, maybe even any stalkers. Those are all handled by Nidorino. And then at the end of the day, as we know through many, many cultured Japanese art, when you have a guard dog, you pay the guard dog. I don't really want to... This feels like it's a very bad route to take. I don't want to make this argument. I feel like this is actually kind of dangerous. Can I revamp my argument? I feel like if I keep going down this pathway, I actually might get banned. The ears. Ear play. There we go. Okay. Nidorino has the largest ears out of any Pokemon. I'm making a statement here. In the original generation. And there is something pleasurable about scratching inside the ears, feeling that like the contrast between the scaly lizard-like exterior and the soft velvet of the inside ear. Now take that a step further and you understand why there's an ear fetish. If it exists, if it's an opening, people will try to smash it. And Nidorino with this large sail-like ears is exactly what people are looking for to satisfy that. Nidoking. All right. Have you ever wanted your bones to be turned to dust? Have you ever wanted to be absolutely pulverized and turned into a fine paste? Well, don't worry. Nidoking is there. If you're somebody who dreams of being crushed, if you're someone who dreams of being enveloped and just absolutely mauled between muscles, Nidoking will provide that. Whereas Nidoqueen specializes in the thighs, Nidoking specializes in the entire body. It's like being hugged to death by a bodybuilder. You'll feel those rock hard muscles against you, and for a brief moment, you'll attain euphoria. Oh boy. Clefairy! Have you heard about the cute violence scale? Basically, the cuter something is, the more violent it makes you feel. A Pokemon that dances around, waving its fingers around, is begging to be punted. Punted into the sky where it will fall on some unsuspecting individual, seduce them with its fairy magic, and they're just gonna go have a lot of fun. Gonna go have a lot of Pokemon babies. If a Pokemon... Okay, real question here. Just something to consider. If a Pokemon impregnates a human, which apparently according to Pokemon Platinum is now an actual thing, if a Pokemon impregnates a human, is the human the one that has to then lay the egg? And how does that work? Because humans lack egg-laying mechanisms. I'm a little afraid of how people are going to reason out that answer. On second thought, I'm not sure I want to know the answer to that. All right, moving on. Clefable. It will run and hide the moment it senses people. So it's the oh boy. Clefairy is the easiest smash and then pass. Because it's so shy, the one night stand is all it can handle and then it's gotta run away. So for those of you who want something quick, easy, without any strings attached, I present Clefable. You'll sleep with it, you'll both have fun, and by morning come, it will have disappeared into the horizon, never to be seen by you again, because it is that shy. That is Clefable. And it's because of that Clefable is made for those one-night stands or those quick sessions in the night where you just can't get a hold of anybody else. Also, Metronome can introduce a whole bunch of different things. Maybe you'll have telekinesis cast upon you and you'll be lifted off in all these different ways. Or maybe you'll have a meteor summoned down on your head and everything explodes within a quarter-mile radius. Vulpix. We're starting to get into the furry Pokemon. I don't know if I can finish this. This is just so far beyond unhinged for me. How do people do all 1025 Pokemon? That's insane. I'm trying to think. Okay. Vulpix. Have you ever seen... Okay. So there's a very specific kind of play where you take a feather, you run it down someone's skin, and it's the sensation of something light and flitting across your the largest sensory organ that you have, your skin, that causes a level of eroticism in people. Vulpix, with its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with its 5 tails, is the perfect candidate for that. It can just run those 5 tails across your skin, and if you've ever touched a fox's tail, I haven't, but I've heard that it's very nice, soft, and bushy. So you'll have multiple stimulus points all through 5 of the tails, just running down along your thigh, running down along your chest, and Vulpix will be able to introduce you to touch sensation therapy. A 2-in-1. Ninetales. Hear me out. First off, tails. There's a lot of tails to grab while smashing. But by grabbing the tails, you're now being subjected to a 1,000-year curse. That means you're not going to live for 1,000 years. So you can technically attain immortality by smashing the Ninetales. Because you have to live that long to experience the curse. So all that needs to happen is you smash the Ninetales, and you get to enjoy immortality right after. You don't even necessarily have to stay with the Ninetales. You can go off and do your own thing. You're now immortal. You can do whatever you want for the next 1,000 years. Jigglypuff. This is actually, I think this was a lot easier. For Jigglypuff, we've all had issues. Wow, that's a lot of smashes for Ninetales. We've all had issues getting to sleep at night. We've had such a hard time drifting off. Some of us need to play white noise. Some of us need to listen to podcasts. Some of us need to listen to music. Jigglypuff is like a stereo system for your bedroom. No matter what you need, it will be there to softly sing the song of its people until you slowly lull off to sleep. The cuddles are just extra on top of that. A singing body pillow is the perfect thing for those of you who are suffering from insomnia or from lack of sleep. This Pokemon is made to treat your physical and mental desires. Wigglytuff. Wait, Wigglytuff is in the original generation? I thought it was an evolution in the later generation. Wow, I really have not played Pokemon in a very long time. Wigglytuff. The body is soft and rubbery. When angered, it will suck in air and inflate itself to an enormous size. Well, it's in the Pokédex. It's in the Pokédex It's in the Pokédex entry. There are those individuals who enjoy seeing their partner inflated, engorged, filled with something. Wigglytuff can do that just no problem, just right off the start. You don't need to put any work into it. You don't need to waste any liquids. You don't need to do any messy cleanup. All you need Wigglytuff to do is to get angry. It will inflate itself, and you can enjoy the visual splendor of that. Oh boy. Hi, Iron Lad. Look, we're doing a thing. Zubat. Have you ever wanted your blood sucked? Because Zubats are the entry to vampire play that everyone's been looking for because they're common, they're everywhere, and Zubats are made to penetrate your skin with their fangs and introduce you to the world of what it's like to be bitten by a vampire. So we're into that. The wealth of Twilight fans back in the day kind of tells you everything you need to know. People are really, really into that, into the fantasy of being bit and pierced by sharp canines. And so I present to you the Zubat with the biggest canines of any other Pokemon I've seen in so far. The Golbat. You would think this one would have larger canines, but in fact, not the case. Golbat takes vampire play to another level. Now it really lets you experience what it's like to be bit, but it also doesn't stop. So you do have to be careful with this one. It doesn't stop. It keeps sucking. to put it bluntly, it keeps sucking. And if you embrace it, you can feel that heady pleasure. Like, I feel like a lot of vampire novels are constantly writing about the heady pleasure that comes when you get your blood sucked, which is why there's like all these people lining up to get bitten by vampires in literacy and fantasy novels. Similar to that, Golbat, by draining your energy, creates this lightheaded feeling in you, creates like this feeling of just drifting away. And that, accompanied with the textile pleasure you get from being bitten by a Golbat, gives you something so far beyond Zubat play that you can't even come close to it. Zubat play is for the beginners. Golbat play is for the experienced adventurer. Oddish. I already used the butt plug argument. Okay. Hear me out. I'm gonna go back to Resident Evil now. Hold on. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Oddish can be planted anywhere and gain nutrients from the ground. It will grow no matter what. So what you have is a very convenient plug that whenever you need to, you can take it out, plant it into the ground, and let it grow. It's a sustainable, natural alternative to silicone. By providing this feature, Oddish is encouraging us to recycle and treat the natural world with respect and vigor. So Oddish is just a sustainably correct butt plug. Gloom. Oh. I'm going to go back to saving Ashley. No, come back. I have still another 120 something Pokemon to go. Oh, God. I don't know if I can do this. I'm running out of ideas. Okay. Gloom. Gloom, 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 gloom. You know how the smell of a flower differs from individuals? Some find this particular smell nasty, others find it pleasurable. Some people enjoy the smell of armpits, other people hate them. They think they smell like stinky cheese. Well, Gloom I'm driving away my viewers. It is my worst nightmare. Have fun, Creeper. Have fun, Iron Lad. Gloom, as a representative of the flower that smells like death, is made to appeal to those specific few who've been seeking this particular, unique scent that you can't get anywhere else in the world. And Gloom provides that. Imagine being immersed in this smell as you do the horizontal tango. If you are really into that smell, it's going to be like the most pleasant, lovely thing in your life. You're going to have a lot of fun. But if it smells nasty, that just means you haven't experienced life enough. You haven't gotten to the point where you're really trying new things. And that is what Gloom offers. A sensory experience completely unique and wholesomely Gloom. Vileplume. I probably should have saved that last argument for Vileplume, but now I'm out of it. Somewhere in the world, there's always someone who wants to try something different. And I present to you the Pokemon with the answer to what would it look like if I in the tutorial lost to a stinky mushroom that had the ability to smell like a rotting flesh. Vileplume is out here ready to steal your girl. He's going to come early. He's going to doff his petals as a sign of respect to the father. And he's going to steal your girl while you're still trying to figure out how to get away from the awful, horrendous smell that he exudes. It's a defense mechanic. Those that Gloom finds attractive, those that Vileplume finds attractive, they can bear the scent. But for those that Vileplume deems as a danger, it drives them away. And so therefore, Vileplume is the perfect NTR Pokemon. My head genuinely hurts. Oh boy, we haven't even made it to 50 yet. Maybe I need to start like passing and then start just like actually smashing the ones that I can come up with an argument for, because if I don't, we might not even get through the end of the 151 by the end of this stream. Paris is the perfect mushroom seedbed. Up until this point, we've experienced with butterfly scales, we've experienced with natural venom from a Nidoran, but we haven't really tried mushrooms yet. What if you can have a partner who literally has mushrooms growing on them so that when you are ready to end the night with your partner, all the Paris has to do is reach behind it, grab a mushroom off, and hand to go, here, darling, take some of this before we get started. Bam! The mushroom supplier. I just came back and now we're at this one. My only reaction is, oh no. You know, I feel like my argument was relatively succinct. There wasn't really like anything too weird. And now for Parasect. Parasect has taken that relationship to a whole new direction. Now you get to taste what the psychedelic experience of a mutated mushroom that has been wholly taken over by a different creature. It won't be anything you notice. It won't be anything familiar. It'll be something completely different. And you will really experience a whole new high. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas. I'm running out of arguments. Oh, I I thought I could keep this going, but I literally... Wait, so Venomoth is exactly the same type as Butterfree, right? Should the arguments are getting bland? Yeah, I know. I'm running out of ideas. Here's my question, though. What's the difference between Venomoth, like, type-wise and movement-wise versus Butterfree? They look like they share the exact same. I'm a morph. With Venomoth. Yeah, I can't come up. I can't come up with one for this one. It's like it feels like the exact same as the Butterfree. The Diglett. The Diglett. Okay. Ladies, and I guess men who are also into this, and those of indiscriminate gender. Do you see the way that that little Diglett is jumping back into the hole, popping out, jumping back into the hole, popping out? Let's say that you're out on an adventure. You as a young teenage, you as a young adult, out in the woods, either hiking, adventuring, maybe you're on your own Pokemon journey late in life. You see a hole in the ground. It's been a while. You've been out on the road. You haven't had time to go back to an inn. You haven't had time to sleep in the city. You're feeling a little pent up. There's that nice, perfect hole, and you know what comes out of that hole. So you take your pants off, you squat down over the hole, and you just wait for the Diglett to emerge. Everything's already ready. You just need to sit there and wait until the Diglett goes, Diglett, and then pops out of the hole, driving its head exactly where you need it to go. Full force. And you know what's even better than that? You know what's even better than that? If that's not enough for you, if, say, one Diglett doesn't do it for you, which is, A, fucking impressive, but if a single Diglett doesn't bring it home, what about 3? They're bigger, they're burlier, and they're faster. They can generate earthquakes just by burrowing. So what is the force of them popping out of that hole straight into you? What can you even imagine what that would feel like? That single Diglett couldn't satisfy you. Now you got the Doug trio. You have either 2 in the front, 1 in the back, or 2 in the front, 1 in the front, 2 in the back, or all 3 in the front, or all 3 in the back. You know what? There's a multiple times of combinations and variation. It's something for everyone. Find what suits you best and find that hole outside near you in the dirt. Look, if you really just wanted a Pokemon that can talk to you, like you wanted an actual partner, but you also really, really, really wanted to sleep with a cat, it has been proven that Meowths can learn human language. So, if you need to hide your secret interest from the rest of your neighbors, but you also really, really want a partner that you can communicate with, get a Meowth. Get a Meowth that will teach itself how to speak human, and you'll have someone who can talk to you with intelligence and succinctness at home, but also gets freaky in the sheets. I'm not getting into this. If you want to sleep with a large cat Persian Psyduck, oh boy. Look, there's something to be said for the clueless himbo. There's something to be said for the one that dawdles around, not knowing what's going on, not understanding, but you know what? It's trying its best. And that kind of absent-mindedness attracts some people. And so maybe you as an individual want something that you can take care of, that relies on you, that is always looking to you for direction. Well, you know what? the Psyduck. Look, I'm proud of the Diglett and Dugtrio incident, okay? Look, if you're the type that needs your partner to absolutely depend on you and rely on you and love you for exactly what you are, the Psyduck. Psyduck is the one you want to smash. I don't know what to do with the gold duck, I'll be perfectly honest. It's like a fast duck, but it loses the absent-mindedness. It also kind of loses the charm. I'm moving on. I'm going to ignore the Mankey, and I'm going to present to you his bigger brother, the Primeape. Look, it's always angry. It's always furious. We know hate sex is hot. We know consenting intercourse between two individuals who hate each other's guts is hot because they get really rough with it. They get really, really rough with it. And you'll always have that with Primeape. It'll always be furious. It'll always be ferocious. It'll always be tenacious. It will keep going. It's not going to stop. It's going to be amazing. If you really wanted to feel that rough, tumble down fighting pleasure, Primeape will provide exactly what you need. Feathers, if you're listening, does that answer your question? Because I remember you asking me about the Primeape. Does that answer your question? I am leaving Growlithe alone, mostly because that is my wife's favorite Pokemon. I'm not adjusting that one. Okay. I feel like I can say as a society, as a member of the human race, as a individual who is not a furry, we can all agree Arcanine is a little hot. And I don't mean fire and flames. We can all agree Arcanine's a little hot. There's something about the proud demeanor, the noble sweeping mane, the strength with which it stands in the sun. Arcanine brings out the furry interest in all of you. Arcanine is your gateway into the furrier side of romance. I'm not doing this one or this. Okay. Poliwrath. Look, remember what I said about the Beedrill? You tried the Beedrill. And eventually, after a certain point, the Beedrill wasn't enough. No matter what, Beedrill's cones could not simulate the feeling of real hands. So you upgrade. You go from a Beedrill. You go from the cones. And now you have actual fists. And from what I remember, the Poliwhirl is pretty big. So you know what? You're going to be a sock puppet. And some people are really, really into that. So you'll enjoy your sock puppet life at Poliwrath's mercy. Not doing Abra. I'm just going to go straight to Alakazam. Okay. In Alakazam, you have the argument for the Venusaur all over again. It's the age, the experience, that bushy beard coming out of its nostrils denotes its age and how much it's been through. This is a Pokemon that can read your brain. It can analyze exactly what you're looking for. Like, you know how frustrating it is when you and your partner are having a lot of fun and then you really want something specific, but either you can't verbalize it or your partner just isn't getting it. That's not an issue with Alakazam. Alakazam can reach right into your brain, get exactly what you want, and because of its vast intelligence, it'll know exactly how to execute on that. Alakazam is made for those of us who have trouble communicating, those of us who need that extra helping hand in order to take the next step down the road of our desires. All right, now hear me out. Let's say the polyrath wasn't enough for you. Let's say let's say you went with Beedrill. Beedrill wasn't enough. It didn't have enough hand texture. Then polyrath wasn't enough. It only has 2 hands. Machamp has 4. And with 4 hands, you can do double the things you can with 2 hands. So either you can be held up while it's using you as a sock puppet, or you can have 4 hands using you as a sock puppet, or you can be braced against its muscular chest while you're being used as a sock puppet. The options are endless. By just adding an extra pair of arms, you've added a whole new dimension to this level of play. That's something to be applauded. I'm going to jump straight to Victory Bell for this, because we actually have scientific, hard evidence that Victory Bell is large enough for a human to climb into. We have seen James in the Pokemon anime inside Victory Bell looking out from inside its mouth. So what that tells you is Victory Bell is big enough to fully envelop an adult human being. Vor enthusiasts, literally eat your heart out. You finally have it. The perfect vessel to envelop and consume you and hold you in that deep, wet, dark place that you so desperately crave. Victory Bell is the Pokemon for Vor enthusiasts. I feel like this one's very obvious. I feel like this one is very specifically very, very obvious. Is tentacle play. Real easy. No complications. It has a lot of tentacles. They wriggle out. They have multiple digits. They can be used for different purposes. If you really even want, there's even a numbing agent in them to immobilize you, so you go all limp. Maybe you're into that. But Tentacruel is the master of tentacle play, which means he's very, very popular in Japan. And specifically, I think the middle of America. I think for some reason, I remember seeing one of those surveys that Orange Tube put out. And I think for some reason, there was like a huge denomination of the center of America that was really into tentacles. It was an odd revelation. Honestly? Okay. Graveler has all these bumps and textures and imperfections along its surface to accommodate for any kind of play you want. You can be standing, you can be sitting, you can be kneeling, you can be leaning up against it, you could be held up against it. Whatever you need. It's even got the 4 arms that Machamp has. Whatever you need, Graveler can provide this service. And on top of everything else, if you need to hide your shame, Graveler can self-destruct. Graveler can quite literally blow itself up and get rid of the evidence. Okay, how do I put this? There is a specific large demographic on the internet that really, really, really likes horses. I'm not even talking about the Rainbow Dash and the My Little Pony people. Specifically, there's a large portion of the internet that really likes horses. Well, I present to you the horse Pokemon Rapidash. Slowpoke. I feel like there's not much for Slowpoke and Slowbro. Magnemite. I feel like I still have the same problem here. Like, I guess. So depending on the way that Magneton configures its like different magnets and screws, you might actually be able to form a very intricate and very complicated rack. Like a BDSM rack. You might be able to explore new positions and new postures that you couldn't really get with the regular harness. So maybe that's what Magneton has going for it. Maybe by utilizing all these weird angles and these twisted around sections, maybe it can provide a new experience to spice up your private life. Farfetched. The Hi Sindani, what? Okay. So in Japan, there's a custom that inserting a green onion into your rectum is supposed to be good for you when you have a cold or when you have a fever. I don't know the science behind this. I don't know the experience behind this. I don't know the reason behind it. But this Pokemon comes with a green onion. So no matter what, while you're doing the nasty, you can have a green onion wiggling out of your bum. That's the best I can do for Farfetch'd. What's better than 2 heads? 3 heads. Dodrio. 3 heads, 3 mouths, 3 beaks. 3 different things to suck, lick, peck, and nibble at whatever you want. It's a walking, talking sex machine. This hurts her soul. This hurts everything that I am, Zindani. I'm in actual pain over here, okay? Not doing Seal. Does Seal, is there like an evolution beyond Dugong? I don't think so. I feel like this was also fairly straightforward. Like it's just a seal. So if for some reason you ever went down to the beach and you saw all those like sea lions and those seals clustered together at the beach and thought, yes, what would that big rubbery flabber feel like against my skin? What would it feel like if I was being held down and crushed by a big blubbery slimy animal? Well, fear no longer. The Dugong is here to answer your questions. Hi, Moo. Yes, 0 passes. We're just continuing on. Oh, you know, I'm down to talk about this one. Okay, Grimer. And here's why Grimer's better than Muck. Grimer is not as toxic as Muck. Grimer is the perfect expression of these trope of the slime girl. The idea of a being that can envelop you, suspend you in liquid, and then form all these like different appendages and toys and different utensils to utilize on you while you're just being suspended in that liquid, being like almost like in 0 gravity. If you have ever wondered what it's like to have sex in space, Grimer will answer that question for you. You've ever wanted to be isekai'd into a fantasy world to get your own slime girl waifu? Don't worry, Grimer got you. Grimer will lift you up. It's not toxic enough to fully poison you. You can stand being in it for a little bit, just like you can stand being in a slime girl for a little bit. And you can experience a whole new level of water play that will take you away beyond. And If you have to worry about cleaning up, not anymore. You don't. No, Grimer cleans up after you. Grimer eats up all the polluted sludge. A little bit of your bodily juices won't be a single issue for it. Also, hi, Moo. How are you? Are you enjoying the presentation? Yeah, unfortunately, muck is too poisonous for this. I don't think it would work out very well. Ladies, you know you want to do that tongue. You know that tongue do the things that you really, really want. And it's a clam. Do you really need any more symbology? It's a clam with a big, 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 big tongue. Right away. Right away into the ocean horizon where water meets the sky. Right away on your clam with a tongue. That's a vagina. I don't give a shit. Whoever was designing that knew exactly what they were making. There's a horn, that's the clit. There's the face, that's the inside of a vagina. There's the two lips opening up. That is a vagina. As long as you move the head aside, you know maybe you can do something with that. Also, I'll point out again, butt plugs right on its surface. There's two right there. Two big, giant, perfectly shaped insertables. All for you. Ooh, the ghost Pokemon. Okay, hear me out. Out of all of them, you want to smash Haunter. Because it can still slip through walls. It has all the properties of the ghost Pokemon. But it has two big grabby hands. Gengar can't really detach his hands, but Haunter can. Haunter don't give a fuck where its hands go. So, you can achieve all sorts of new postures and sensations that are being combined that you wouldn't normally be able to achieve with a regular hand attached to an arm attached to a body. By just having the ability to keep its hands floating everywhere, the Haunter could have its fingers in your mouth while tickling your toes. It could be stroking your thigh while giving you a scalp massage. It could be rubbing your back while groping your butt. Haunter is the perfect master of appreciation through hands. I'm not working with Gengar. Onyx. Most people make the beads joke. Most people also then make the joke of, oh yeah, they're beads, but they're clearly too big to insert. Nah. I say you didn't consider the other side. You didn't consider the tail. If you are willing enough, and where there's a will, there's a way, the tail will perfectly encapsulate everything that you want in terms of bead play. You just need to be brave enough and maybe a lot of lubrication. Drowsy. So, not gonna lie, this one's less of a smash and more of just like an argument in general for keeping a Drowsy nearby you. Let's say you want a specific kind of dream, right? Like, let's say you are a horny teenager stuck alone in a dorm room. You don't have a partner because you're a teenager who doesn't know how to flirt with anybody. You don't have anybody to hang out with because you don't have friends. And your roommate is not attractive. So you want to have a nice erotic dream. Get a Drowsy to eat every other dream that's you dream up that night until you get the erotic dream. Bam. Yes, you're not smashing the drowsy, but the drowsy is actively participating in your pleasuring. Ta-da! Have you ever wondered what it felt like to use clamps? Clamps on your skin, clamps on protruding parts of your body, clamps to really just cling onto your skin. Well, Krabby's here to answer your prayers. Krabby, with its double claws, and its like hanging weight, will provide the perfect stimulation you need. You just clamp them onto whatever 2 points you want, and the natural weight of the Krabby will drag down on them and give you that perfect sensation that you're seeking. Ta-da! I don't have an argument for Volt Turbo Electrode, I'll be honest. Execute. Okay. Jokes aside, Execute does make me consider, is there someone out there that genuinely has an egg fetish? Not as in them laying eggs. I mean, like they see eggs and they get aroused. Is there someone out there like that? And what would that even be called? Like, what kind of provocation would that be? Do you go to the grocery store and you just see eggs and you're just like, ah, yeah, the roundness, the white, supple eggshell. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're coming home with me. Oy. All right, I think I'm running out of arguments. Executor, don't fuck a pine tree. I'm not gonna lie, I 100% believe there's at least one person, right? Like, I really want to meet that one person and just be like, what is that like for you? Like, you just open the fridge and go like, ugh, it's an egg. I genuinely need to know. Okay, this is actually the one that I will pass, and I'll say, don't fuck a pine tree. You'll get splinters everywhere. Pine trees are designed to break off, so you are guaranteed to have a very uncomfortable time. I don't believe there's a single part of the pine tree that would actually be pleasurable. Whoa! So I have heard stories of people taking empty coconuts and utilizing the coconut flesh on the inside of the coconut, as it's slippery and a little bit slimy. So maybe that's your thing. Maybe the Executor, as it has like, oh, you know what? Oh my God, wait, no, I got it. That's the perfect thing that Executor is great for. Maybe you've always wondered what it was like to stick your rod into a coconut, but you didn't want to have to deal with the issue of cracking the coconut open and then peeling it back so that there's enough space for you to safely insert. Executor has mouths on its coconuts. You don't need to worry about all that work. The mouth is already an orifice leading straight into the coconut meat. That's what Executor brings to the table. It brings the idea that you can simplify coconut fucking. There's an FBI agent watching the stream right now who's going like, I need brain bleach and I need to put this guy on a list. This would just be, you know, how about this? If you want really sad, depressing. Oh, hold on. Ad break is starting. Let's pause on the Cubone argument real fast. Oh man, I didn't even notice the ad break. Why is it not warning me that it's incoming anymore? I need to double check that. I mean, at least we're on. At least we're on Pokemon 100, which is 2/3 of the way there. And you know what? 2/3 of the way there is a lot further than I ever expected this to get. The Pokemon Coconut one is a very... that is a stretch. I can't believe I never thought of that, though. Like, an executor is literally the perfect way to consume a coconut. You don't need to worry about opening up. You can literally just chop off the head and then pour the coconut water out of the mouth. And then the mouth gives you like a way to like tear into the inside so that you can just scoop out all the meat. Executor is literally a coconut tree made for humans to harvest, which is a very depressing thought if you think about what kind of evolutionary steps had to be taken for a tree to be that specifically made for human beings. I also say I don't like coconut. Something about the texture and the flavor of coconut just really does not appeal to me, and I don't know why. It's a thing. If you chop off one executor's head, it becomes an execute. No, it says there's a chance. It says there's a chance of an executor's head becoming an execute. So all you gotta do is you gotta keep chopping off the coconut heads while you still leave like one or two so that the rest can grow back. But you always leave one or two so that if the head you chop off does turn into an execute, you can just grab another one and chop it off and see what happens. See? Easy peasy. There's always options. There's always new avenues to take. Oh. Bum 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 dun 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 da 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 da. Man still finds an argument about a tree. Hey, it's a good argument. It's a great argument, in fact. Okay. It's a lovely argument that I'm fairly certain no one has ever made before. I'm an HR30. Hey, congrats, Creeper. Have you been using my lovely Pokemon arguments as a way to provide background audio for your hunting experience? Should I start like smashing Monster Hunter monsters next? All right, Cubone. You know, sometimes there's times where you're feeling too happy. There are times where sometimes your day is just going too well and you need something to bring it down. You need something to completely change your mood and completely destroy your endorphins. Well, while you're riding a Cubone, just imagine, just remember that the skull on its head is from its mother or its parent. So you're essentially sleeping with something grieving its past mother. Moving on. Which also brings up the question of, there's a lot of Cubones just out there, and they all have skulls on their head. Does that imply that like the mother perishes shortly after the Cubone is born? If so, that's fucking dark. Hitmon... All right, you know what? I have the perfect Pokemon for Moo. I have the perfect Pokemon for Moo. Moo likes being stepped on. And because Moo likes being stepped on, who better to step on Moo than the literal kicking Pokemon themselves. They can extend the foot so they can step on any part of you that you wish. They can make it very nice and gentle, like a nice caress, hi, I couldn't say. Or they can make it hard and rough as they really just lay you out on the ground with a roundhouse kick. Hitmonlee is made for the foot appreciator. It can stretch its foot out to get right up in your face. It can do massive foot techniques that will lift you up into the air and juggle you. You want to die? You won't die. The Hitmonlee is just going to step all over you because that's what it does best. And you'll enjoy everything. Hitmonchan! Okay. So there's a very specific subset of adult anime where individuals get into a ring, they fight and punch each other, like everything that you would actually imagine, takes place in like an actual like MMA fight, punching, kicking, and a lot of very specific attention and artistic direction is given at the moment of impact when it punches you, and both your reaction and the feeling of having your organs rearranged in your body. And for some people, that is pleasurable. So, Hitmonchan is the professional who has been trained to punch you in exactly the most erotic way, to really let you feel that sensation of your gut being shifted around to your spine and really let you appreciate that inch by inch as it completely lays you out because it's that trained of a fighter. I feel like this one's popular enough and this one's obvious enough that I'm not really gonna have to go much into detail. It's Lickitung. It licks. You feel numb after it licks you. You can't move after it licks you. The tongue is bigger than its body when elongated. Really, what do you think this Pokemon's going to be using for? It's not going to be used to bake. It's not going to be used to bake you a cookie at all. It's made for one and one purpose only, and that is to lick you. Coughing and wheezing. Oh boy. I don't really have one for this, I'll be honest. I cannot figure out how to do these ones beyond the fact that like it's 3 balls connected together, and if you look really, really hard, it might be an adult toy, but we're going to keep moving on. Okay. Rhyhorn and Rhydon. Let's say Nidoking and Nidoqueen weren't big enough for you. Let's say they didn't have enough muscle for you. Let's say you wanted the feeling of metal steel plates against your skin as you're crushed between a rock and a hard place. Rhydon is the natural upgrade to the Nidoqueen and Nidoking enjoyers. It has the same shape, but much more strength, and the body is much more armored. There are those who enjoy the idea of being crushed against a medieval knight's plate armor, slowly bleeding their lifeblood out onto a hard pointed surface. Rhydon gives you that experience. You can be enveloped in its arms, it'll hold you, and then tighter and tighter and tighter until you pass out. Rhydon provides exactly what you need when it comes to the strength department. If you really want to be compacted. Okay. So Chansey just brings happiness to whoever manages to get with it. Whoever manages to sleep with a Chansey, because there's that rare and elusive, you're just set for life. You're always going to be happy. You come home, there'll be a hot meal for you on the table. You need a bath, it's already drawn. You need your bed made, it's already done. You want to sleep on clean sheets, they were washed earlier this morning. Chansey is the perfect partner, take care of you no matter what. It's loyal. It stays loyal. And it will be, you know for sure that with all of the Chanseys in Pokemon centers around the world, that Chansey will be the perfect home partner or spouse for you. So hear me out. Let's say Tentacruel's tentacles aren't really doing it for you. You need something a little more textural. Imagine what it would feel like being just slid across Tangela's body. Thousands of little smooth, slimy vines just gripping at you and sliding across her skin. Now just picture that. And hold that thought. Okay. Let's say you're fortunate enough to find a Kangaskhan without a baby already. And let's say all you want is for your partner to carry you around, keep you safe and warm, and hand off food and supplies to you whenever you need them. Kangaskhan is the perfect maternal figure. It has a little pouch to keep you safe. It will take care of you. It'll hunt for you. It'll get you food. It'll use its enormous arm strength to keep you safe. If you are really into the maternal play, Kangaskhan is your Pokemon. Horsey. Horsey is known for, Horsey and Seadra are known for precise blasts of water. Ladies, is this safe to say on Twitch? You know what? Fuck it. Ladies, have you ever taken the shower head and pointed the jets to wherever you needed to point them? And hasn't it ever been just like super awkward to position? It's not really easy. It's not easy to aim. It's not really a very convenient tool. Sometimes the hose isn't long enough, so you can't really get the head positioned in the correct way. Well, don't fear any longer. Horsey is here. Horsey can perfectly project those gouts of water straight to whatever area you wish stimulated. If that shower head was your best friend when you were young, well, as an adult, Horsey is now the replacement to that. It's that same jet of pressured water, still providing the exact same kind of stimulation you want, but at a much better angle and with much better control. Yeah? Oh, boy. I don't have an argument for Goldeen. Straight up, it's a fish. Does anybody have a potential argument for a fish? I would love to know. I think Goldeen and Seaking are both just like, I don't know what to do with that. The only thing I can think of is, okay. So in Japan, In Japan, well, actually, not just Japan, in multiple areas, there is this little thing where you have a basin of fish, and they're very tiny fish, very, very small fish. And the idea is you take off your shoes, you take off your socks, you put your feet into the water, and the little fishes come up and start nibbling at the dead skin on your feet, and also just giving you a just general cleaning. Is a little ticklish, but it does feel very nice, just feeling like all these like tiny, tiny little mouths like nibbling away at your skin. Now, what if you could turn that into a full body experience? Imagine laying in the salt water of the ocean and just hundreds of Goldenen sea kings, just little nibbles all over your body. It's a little ticklish. It's a little, you kind of have to hold back a laugh, but you know what? It does feel really, really good. So if you want that full body cleanse, you know what? We might even market it as like a beauty treatment. If you want that full body cleanse, not only can you get fresh, revitalized skin, now you can also get a pleasurable experience at your local beauty salon. Oh boy. Star you and star me. I straight don't have I can't think of a single one for these guys. Misty really likes them. That's all I'm going to say. Misty really, really likes them, and there's probably a reason for that, but I don't know why. All right. Mr. Mime. Look, this is another gateway Pokemon. Let's be completely honest here. If you as an individual really want to explore the world of Pokemon fornication, but you're not really sure where to begin, Mr. Mime is the perfect answer to your prayers. Mr. Mime is the most human-looking Pokemon. It's not even that much of a stretch. We all know what Ash's mom was up to with her Mr. Mime. We always know why that Mr. Mime was following her. This Mr. Mime looks like a human, feels like a human, and is the perfect accompaniment for when you're ready to explore, but you really just need a little bit longer of a tutorial, a little bit more explanation. Mr. Mime will provide all that. And on plus side, he can make whatever devices and toys you wish with his mime powers. Scyther. Okay, so before we had blade play with Weedle, I now give you sword play. Far more dangerous, but able to leave longer welts, able to leave longer scratches in your skin. Scyther, as the ultimate user of blades, is able to take your usual experience with knives and simplest things, and the Blade Master is able to elevate that. You haven't lived until you felt the soft shitness blade of a Scyther dancing over your skin. Yes? 124. Almost there. Okay. Okay. So you've had the Mr. Mime, right? You've had the Mr. Mime experience. You had all the wealth of joy and whatever human-like potential you could get closest to. Now you got to take a step lower than that. You got to get closer to the Pokemon. Jinx is your next step down. What I couldn't say. Look at those lips. Look at the way that she's sucking at the air. Yes, she's asking for a kiss. But you know what else would fit in between those, You know what fits in between those lips? You know what would go great right between those fat, thick lips? I'll let your imagination do the rest of the filling in. They shoot out just a water out of his center, and they can also spin around really quick, especially Starmie. Oh, I see what you're saying, Moo. So what you're saying is, yeah, aim the side of the Pokemon down. They start spinning, and then you get repeated stimulation against a one specific area. Oh, I got you, Moo. I got you. That's very clever. That's a good way to use a Starmie and a Staryu. Just spin them like a fidget spinner and just position them where you need them to be. But yeah, Jinx has Booba. Jinx has big sucking lips that can be either kissed or filled. And is the next natural progression from Mr. Mime. There's other applications? Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm a little terrified. I feel like Electabuzz is pretty straightforward. It's shock therapy mixed with the the tensile force that you get from Machamp, from Poliwhirl, from Golem. It's two big giant fists that also come with electricity. So you know it's just a combination. If you're looking for an all-in-one experience, grab an Electabuzz. Oh shoot, I've been forgetting to hit the smash button, haven't I? Wait, hold on. No, previous. Okay. Smash. Okay, Magmar. Okay, you know what? I got this. Magmar. Have you ever wanted to dip your dick in lava? Or have you ever wanted to immerse your vagina in scorching hot lava? Well, now you can. It'll be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You'll never experience anything like this ever again. But for the brief moment, you can immerse your sexual organ in 10,000 degree hot liquid made in a solid form. A once in a lifetime experience. Pinsir? I mean, look. Its horn has protrusions, is perfectly shaped upwards. And there's two of them. You can ride each other side by side, staring into each other's eyes, while the Pinsir hits you in just the right spot. It's made like a double-sided horse. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Tauros. So you know how there's the horse people, right? You know how with Rapidash and Ponyta, there's the horse people. There's the people who really want to see what it's like when a horse gets on top of something and starts pounding away. Well, now I present to you the bull people, the cow people, the people who really don't want to eat steak and instead want to have you be porked by the steak. That's a Tauros. That's for those people. If you really want to milk a bull, well then, Tauros is your guy. Okay, hold on. I'm going to need a drink of water for this one. Okay. Many people consider Magikarp to be a useless Pokemon. It only learns Splash. In I think certain editions, it learns Tackle. But Allow me to blow your mind. Magikarp, when it's on land, is gasping desperately for breath. Just like, now. Imagine what it can do with that mouth as it's gasping desperately for breath. The suction power would be unreal. It's a giant, huge fish. As it's gasping for breath, you just position it where you need to. It's going to get sucked right in. And bam, you have automatic suction power. And the best part is, the longer it goes, the stronger it gets as it's like just trying to get past the blockade in its mouth. Magikarp, the perfect suction machine. Don't look down on its uselessness. There's a reason that there's so many water type, swimmer type trainers with a Magikarp. They're not bringing it along for the train it into a Gyarados bullshit. We all know what the real answer is. They're bringing it because they know that when it's out of that water, nothing can beat that suction power. It's stronger than a vacuum. Gyarados. I feel like there's a subset of the world, of the kinky side of the world, that really has this thing for big, giant, burly sea monsters dragging you down to the deep and then doing the nasty with you while they're dragging you down where you can't breathe. This is kind of like, you know how the Magikarp was the perfect suction machine and you were literally taking advantage of its need to live to achieve your pleasure? Now, Gyarados is the reverse of that. Instead, Gyarados takes you down into the water. Now you're fighting for air and it's having its way with you. Gyarados is the ultimate flip-flop. You got the pleasure in the beginning, now you got to fight for your life at the other end. Lapras. I feel like this one's also really easy to argue. Radishes, what? Well, okay, let me ask this, Radishes. What are you flipping me off for? Which of these, at what point did I say something wrong, huh? At what point was I incorrect? Tell me. Lapras. This is a Pokemon. It even says it right here. This Pokemon is used to ferry people across the water. Let me ask you this. That's a sloping shell on its back. Where exactly do you think people are going to stand or sit? You really think this is a fairy type Pokemon? No. This Pokemon isn't being used to ferry people. It's being used to bring people out to the water where your screams of pleasure cannot be heard as you carefully utilize one of the many bumps and spikes on its back, which are all blunt if you notice, for the perfect insertion. And then it takes you out into the water and takes you out to somewhere private where no one will hear your screams. It's the perfect Pokemon for those who like to get down and dirty in public, but aren't ready to face the running from the police, running for their lives, and public humiliation. What's wrong with you? Many things, Radishes, many things. Ditto. There is a reason that for every hardcore Pokemon player, they have a Ditto. Now, many of them are going to tell you that the reason they have a Ditto is because Ditto can mate with every type of Pokemon. Because Ditto is the perfect egg spawner Pokemon. It's made for it. It always is the perfect genetic surrogate. Those those people are lying to you. Ditto has been confirmed to turn into humans. It is capable of copying humans in the anime. So you can have a perfect one-to-one recreation of whoever you want. You're a horny teenager who has that celebrity crush and you really, really, really want to know what it's like to sleep with them. Ditto's your person. Ditto will transform into whatever you want. All it needs is the command. And it's not like it's a one and done transformation. You don't need to stick with one. You can have multiple. Maybe you really want to know what it's like to sleep with that really famous actor. Maybe you want to know what it's like to sleep with that famous musician. Maybe you want to know what it's like to sleep with that very, 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 very hot childhood friend you have. Ditto's your man. Perfect recreation from top to bottom. And how do we know this? How do we know it's a perfect recreation? Because it was able to be used for breeding with Pokemon. So it follows that by being able to breed with other Pokemon, it can replicate the sexual reproductive organs of its target. Ta-da! It can perfectly replicate human reproductive organs. I rest my case. And we also know that there's plenty of reference material out there on the internet. We already know that. There's so much. There's so much of every actor and actress that you can pull up whatever you need. Eevee. I feel really bad about this one. I'm not going to lie to you. I personally like Eevee. I feel really bad about this one. Its genetic code is irregular. We all know that by exposing Eevee to different elemental stones, Eevee can evolve into different elemental types. Maybe you're somebody who isn't quite decided on what kind of texture you want, what kind of sensation. Do you want it to burn? Do you want it to tingle? Do you want it to feel cool? Do you want it to go numb? Do you want it to feel slick? Do you want it to feel rough? You don't know yet. Well, while you're figuring it out, why not pick up an Eevee? It's the perfect brand of vanilla. Not anything complicated, nothing too weird and strange, just pure vanilla. And then when you're tired of vanilla and you're starting to figure out, oh, I like a little bit of this. I like it when it has Vaporeon's liquid body. I like it when it's flexible. Hi, Bunny Riders. And hi, Doc Scarlet. What's up? Maybe you prefer Flareon's burning heat. Maybe you prefer Jolteon's static shocks as you are mid-coitus. Maybe you prefer the liquid lubrication. The possibilities are endless. Yes, you can curse, Bunny and Riders. The possibilities are endless. The world is your oyster, and all you need to do is pick up a single Eevee. Eevee is made to help you figure out your tastes and your likes and your dislikes. And once you have them figured out, all you need to do is whip out that elemental stone and you have the perfect partner for the rest of your life. Bada bam, bada boom. All right. We already know the Vaporeon arguments. We've seen the copy pasta. Yeah, sure. Vaporeon is the most compatible Pokemon with humans, blah, 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 blah. Lubrication, liquid play, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. We know the arguments. Real talk. Vaporeon with its liquid lubrication, provides everything you need. Everything that you need is encapsulated in a single package, and that is beautiful. We know the jokes, we know the memes, they are around for a reason. All right, bye radishes. Now, Jolteon. Jolteon is what happens when you get an EV and then you realize, you know what, I really like the feeling and tingling of electroshock therapy while I'm getting my rocks off. Well, fear no longer. Jolteon provides exactly that. And despite its spiky looking nature, it has been confirmed that its fur is actually very nice and soft to the touch. You don't need to worry about that. It's perfect. Flareon. Here's the fun thing. Flareon won't burn you. There's no actual flames on its body, but because it's a fire type, we can assume that its body temperature is much higher than the others. So, if you really, really want to feel something nice and warm inside of you, or vice versa, Flareon is the answer to your prayers. You don't need to worry about burns. That's all something that it provides itself. It won't burn you unless you want to be burned. Porygon. Rather than smashing Porygon, I instead present what Porygon represents. Porygon is capable of traveling freely in cyberspace, which means it has definitely been on the perverted side of the web. It has absolutely scrolled through Reddit. It has been through the deepest, darkest recesses of the most niche and disgusting types of erotica that the world has ever created. Porygon is the representation of every adult inclination that you can imagine. The power of the internet is literally at your fingertips. All you need to do is ask Porygon, hey, I have this one specific thing I really, really want. I want to see two people with a pine tree, riding a pine tree, and Porygon knows where to find that. Porygon is the ultimate provider of smut, erotica, and pornography. Porygon, your friend on the cyberweb. And no, I've not done a pass. Ammonite. Now we're getting to the fossils. And again, remember my argument for experience. The fossil Pokemon are the Pokemon who've been around the longest. They have seen eons go and pass. They are capable of bringing to life things that they have forgotten more about reproduction than we have ever recreated in our lives. Tentacle play is only the first step. With the Ammonite, you can go beyond that. Now you have the feeling of the inner mouth scraping at you. You have the feeling of the short little stubby tentacles wrapping perfectly around whatever you need them to wrap around. Ammonite is made for textile pleasure. Look at that mouth. Look at that Omastar's mouth. Those tentacles weren't enough for you. It's got more now. And then, the best part is you can hold and ride that shell while it's doing its work on you. It's perfect. It's like the perfect Charlie horse. Not Charlie horse. It's the perfect wooden horse made for the intrepid adventurer. Now, when I look at Kabuto, the thing that springs to mind, and this one might be a bit of a stretch for you who have not been fully through the web. There is this particular aspect of bug fetish where these little crawling beetles are used to grip onto certain sensitive areas. And the feeling of the little clinging legs scrambling for purchase on your sensitive areas is what drives the pleasure. Imagine taking the Kabuto and putting it exactly where you need it to do and letting it just work its magic. It's the perfect stick on, stick off Pokemon. Oh, I'm trying. Kabutops. I feel like I need to do some research. No, you don't. All jokes aside, you do not need to do any research on any of this. This is like some deep, dark recesses of the internet. You don't want to go here. Kabutops. Scyther's claws weren't enough for you. Weedle's needles didn't penetrate enough. You need actual slicing sensations against your flesh. You need these blades to not just draw blood, but to cut into your flesh. This is advanced knife play. Literal scythes are just skimming across your skin. The Kabutops offers blade play on a level that you've not ever experienced before. This is blade play meant for those who are willing to take a couple of days to heal, willing to lose a lot of blood for this, and experience that lightheadedness that comes when it's just on the knife's edge of danger. If you want to know what it feels like, Kabutops will offer you the experience of its blades. Aerodactyl! Hey, you want to have sex with a pterodactyl? You know that one lady in Jurassic Park, I think it was World, that got like swept up into the air and then pulled up into the air, carried off by her shoulders. And you know how there's that one person behind you in the movie theater who went like, oh, so that's what I'm into. Yeah, this is for you. It'll swoop down. It'll sweep you up. And that big mouth will latch onto yours, preventing you from making any noises. And it'll carry you far, far above. It's a whole different experience from any other member of the Mile High Club because of those leathery wings, of that sporadic beat. It's going to feel a lot more wild. It's going to feel a lot more dangerous. But maybe that's what you're into because you'll be flying multiple miles above the ground, far into the air as this thing takes you. And maybe that's what you're into. Snorlax. It's big. It's cuddly. It's comfy. You hug a Snorlax, you fall asleep on a Snorlax. As somebody who has owned a Snorlax one-to-one body pillow, I can tell you right now, hugging a Snorlax is the most comforting thing in the world. It's like a big ball of fluff that you just don't want to leave. It just sucks you in and you feel like you have to just stay there forever. Now take that, and you're also getting rammed the whole time. That is what the Snorlax do. Need I say any more? It's size play, it's comfort play, it's everything that you could want, all in a single giant package. And if you ever need someone to nap with, Snorlax will be there for you. Articuno. Just by being in Articuno's proximity, you begin to freeze. So it becomes a competition, right? The more time you spend with this Pokemon, the colder you're getting. It's a fight for heat domination because now you have to move quickly, you have to move repeatedly, you have to generate friction in order to stay warm. And Articuno needs to fill you with warmth because that's the only way you're staying warm in its presence. I'm back from doing important stuff. Now we're Articuno. Yes, exactly. Articuno is the absolute temperature play, where it's a constant fight between you getting hypothermia and you being filled up with warmth and love. And plus, while you do the math, this is not the worst thing I feel you've seen me present, Hazel. Zapdos. I feel like all the electric Pokemon have kind of like boiled down to electro play. Look. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be struck by a lightning bolt mid-orgasm? Have you ever wondered what would it feel like to have 1,000 volts running through you at the exact same time that you achieve completion? Zapdos can do that. Zapdos can summon that force of nature, that sheer striking lightning bolt to strike accurately on you at the exact moment of your high. I'm not brave enough to test it, but maybe you are. Mathematically, it's not pleasant. Yeah, I'd assume so. I would assume so, all jokes aside. Moltres. I'm gonna be real, this is a bird on fire. I don't actually know how you're gonna do this without like getting massively injured. But then again, that hasn't stopped you from anything else that we do with Pokemon, so why not? Hey, look. You want to have your skin burned. You want to have your hair singed off. You want to have 3rd degree burns all across your skin. Not even 30. We're going 5th degree burns. You are getting burned so badly that you'll be charcoal by the end of this session. But you know what? That's what you're into. That's what you desire. That's what you want. You want to be a piece of charcoal at the end of your pleasure session. Moltres is for you. I feel like all 3 legendary birds are just like turning into like a fight for your life as you try to copulate. Oh. Dratini! It's nice. It's cute. It'll cuddle with you. It's a nice heartwarming session. It's like a long body pillow with little wings. It feels always cool. It's nice. It's like a little fairy come down to give you adult times. Your own little adult fairy. And then Dratini becomes Dragonair. Now it's a little bit longer. There's more body surface. Maybe it can wrap itself around you. Maybe you can stare into its eyes as you ride the jewel on its chest. Or you ride its tail. Both are valid options. Maybe you do both. Who knows? But whatever happens, you know that Dragonair will care about you. It will love you and care about you, even while you're defiling everything that is good about it. And then the final stage, Dragonite. 20 gold, 2-1 with Golden Oxtree. Nicely done, Hazel. Good job, good job. And now you arrive at Dragonite. And let's say Charizard was too much dragon for you, or not the right kind of dragon. You want something a little more heft, a little more weight. You want something that will hold you on its chest, stare into your eyes, and then pat your head, not in a condescending way, in a comforting way. You want a Dragonite. A Dragonite that's intelligent enough to understand what you're feeling, is intelligent enough to empathize with you, and is intelligent enough to do exactly what you want and bring you to the height of your pleasure. You want to sleep with a dragon? You want a dragon that understands you? Dragonite. Mewtwo. Let's say you have a thing for aliens. Dragon D's nuts. I should have made that joke. Damn it. Let's say you have a thing for aliens, extraterrestrial beings, those that have like a sense of the unnaturalness around them. You want a Mewtwo. You want something that despises the literal torture and excruciating pain it went through just to be born. And you wanted to unleash all of that hate for humanity on you. In a nice, loving way, of course. It's an intelligent creature. It understands you. It can read your mind. It can communicate with you. It can do various chores and take care of the house with telekinesis. It is the perfect partner if you're willing to invest in a long-term relationship to never betray it, because the minute you do, it's probably going to rip you in half with its mind powers. And not in the fun way either. It'll be ripping you apart in the other way if you know you're on his good side. But if that sense of uncanniness, that sense of something alien appeals to you, you wanna be with Mewtwo. And if you don't want that, like uncanniness, instead you want something that's so in tune with nature, instead so like beyond physical reality, then you want a Mew. With the Mew, it's an entirely different side of the spectrum to Mewtwo. Now you're not feeling that sense of unease and artificialness. Instead, what you're feeling is this creature who's so connected to the world around you that by merging with it, by copulating with it, you yourself are teleported into another plane of existence. Mew is what you want when you want a transcendental experience, something that takes you higher and higher beyond anything you've ever experienced before. And with that, Mew done. Oh, with that, we have finished. We have finished the basic generation of Pokemon. We have finished the original 151 Pokemon. And if you really, really want to get weird with it, there's technically the 152 Pokemon missing no. And you know what? If missing no is your type, you are somebody who likes breaking the rules. You're somebody who likes messing with something to the point that you broke everything around you. Missing no is your ideal partner for when you want to explore the very makeup of the world, when you want to see what is beyond your current reality, and you want to peek into the unknown. Missing no is that. You want something, you want a power, you want a partner that literally defies the rules of physics, the world, and existence. It's so powerful, it causes your world to collapse around you. And then there's only you and missing no. That is the true 152 Pokemon Smash or Pass. Thank you very much. I am mentally exhausted. I am superbly mentally exhausted. My brain no longer works. Oh god. Think about it. Prismatic W2 into trait tracker. I don't know what that means. Whew. All right. What a stream. Yeah, tell me about it, Creeper. Tell me about it. Oh, man. Being TFT, that's totally fine. All right. So did I convince you? Are you all ready to go out and smash the 152 original Pokemon? Did I manage to convert you into thinking along the same ways as I did? Are you now a Pokefucker? Because if so, stand with me, brothers, sisters, and those of a discriminate gender. Stand with me and make a stand that all 152 original Pokemon deserve partnership, deserve copulation. I'm ready. Let's go. Even one convert is more than there was in the world before. Moo, welcome to the Brotherhood. Honestly, I will say I'm pretty darn surprised with myself. Like, we actually came up with decent arguments for most of them. I think we missed like maybe 3 or 4 that I just could not, like, either were way too similar to the others, like Spearow and Pidgey, or we just could not think of something for them. But we got almost all of them. I'm fucking... I need an emote of that, just like, I'm fucking... and then just like someone raising their arms to the sky. Oh, man. That'd be great. All right. With that, it is getting pretty close to calling it here for the stream. Thank you for joining me on our lovely exploration on the Pokefucking world. That was probably the hardest I've ever had to improv answers to something live. Wow. Yeah. I like that, like, eventually anything with fists just evolved into like, okay, you're now a sock puppet. You're now a sock puppet on the end of the arm of this Pokemon. Enjoy. All right. Before we close it off, next Smasher Pass is going to be Monsters for Monster Hunter. Honestly, I think that could be interesting. Problem is, like, I think that'd be like a very specific niche. There's not that many people who are like aware of all the monsters. Before we close it off, which Pokemon is your Smasher Pass? Which Pokemon is your Hear Me Out? Which Pokemon are you like, you know what? I would pull a Joker. I would say there are no rules about the Pokemon, Batman. Which one is yours? Muck? Good choice. I explained, hey, Muck and Grimer are the two are essentially like the epitome of the slime girl trope. Out of the original, yeah, the 152 original. Muck and Grimer are the original slime girl trope. Like, they're the ones who can like lift you up. They have like little appendages they can form. There's all these suspension play they can get into. Muck and Grimer is a perfectly good Hear Me Out. I would honestly say, out of the original 152, probably Arcanine. Like, something about Arcanine, just, it's hot. I stand by what I said when I came up with this argument. It's hot. Moose thinking about it. Metapod. Yeah. Like we said, perfectly shaped for what you need it for. It can always harden. It's great. It's perfectly curved. Everything just lines up. I feel like Flareon is just a better Arcanine. But you don't have that majesty. Like a Flareon still comes up to like maybe your thigh. An Arcanine towers above you. You can ride an Arcanine. in both ways. You can ride an Arcanine in both ways. I feel like the Arcanine is better just for that reason alone. You can wrap your legs around its back and its front. Hitmonlee. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen a Hitmonlee stand in a very, very long time. You know what? Kudos to you, Creeper. Kudos to you. You have based taste. You know what? We approve of the adventurous here. But yeah, I still feel like, me personally, I would take Arcanine over Flareon. Flareon is just too small. Arcanine is 6'3's level height. Yeah. So like, imagine a dog that's 6'3 tall. Like, that is definitely rideable. It's absolutely ready to let you just elevate. After that, probably Tangela or Seadra. Yeah, it's basically Clifford. It's not Clifford the big red dog, but you know, it's definitely a larger canine. After Arcanine, probably. I mean, if I'm being real, Jinx. Jinx, probably. Ditto would be the easy answer. Ditto's the too easy answer. Ditto's the answer that you give when you're like, I'm not ready to depart from humans just yet. With Jinx, you kind of be like, what those lips do, you know? What those lips do. It's a little uncanny valley, and you're not really sure what to do with it, but hey, it's a new experience. And sometimes that is enough. Bum bum ba da dum. But yeah, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you also being very brave with your answers. Okay. We only have one more stream day this week, and that would be Friday. There will be technically a double stream. Lickitung. You know what? That's fair, Radishes. That's fair, Lickitung. I forgot about Lickitung. That's a good point. I forgot about Lickitung. You gotta remember Lickitung. Okay, you know what? I'll put Lickitung as my third favorite. It'll go Arcanine, Jinx, and then Lickitung. Mostly because I have a sausage. I don't have a clam. So for me, Lickitung doesn't quite do as much. Jinx is still preferable in that particular case. But at least Lickitung, you know, I can still get something out of that. Man, I'm gonna have the weirdest thoughts when I go to phrasing? 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 Oh boy. Radishes got their priorities right. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Radishes knows exactly what they want out of this. And you know what? We applaud that. That is so brave of them. Let's see. Do you guys want to go see Rosalie, or do you want to see Hunter Hero? Rosalie is a Cheeto Fox, don't ask, who is playing a kind of like a puzzle visual novel style game. Or do you want Hunter, who's playing what looks like the weirdest driving simulator game I've ever seen? What would you guys like to see? Who am I going to pass you guys off to? Want to come play TFT ARAM? Oh, absolutely. I was actually about to ask you, it's just because I was like debating if I was going to play, what is it, ARAM today? So I do want to get ARAM in. Driving sim? All right, we're going to go say hi to Hunter. Okay. So, quick updates. Did I forget to... Hold on. I just want to test something. Shit. I still didn't... I still forgot to update the socials command. Okay. Long story short, if you look in my about section for Twitch, you'll see my Discord, my Twitter, my YouTube. YouTube is where we post up edited clips of stuff you see on stream. I am going to start making more YouTube specific content, so if that's something you're interested in, go drop a follow there. Discord is honestly probably the best way to know when I'm going live, because Twitter's crashing out. Twitter is on fire right now, and there is nothing that's putting that fire out. So follow us on Discord. You're more than free to join our very lovely community there of people who like silly jokes and me making stupid decisions like streaming a Pokemon Smash or Pass. And occasionally we'll hold movie nights and game nights in that Discord. So come join us. Outside of that, if for future streams, Friday is going to be a double feature. In the morning, I'm going to be playing Uno with Magical Luna, Kine, and Barricaire. I probably won't be streaming that, but I'll drop a link to Luna's stream so people can go watch from there if they so wish. And then Friday evening, ideally, I'm not going to make any promises because this always seems to get disrupted whenever I do promise it. We're going to be continuing Silent Hill 2, the scary game about ghosts and horrible decision making. And a guy who literally cannot let go of his wife to a very unhealthy degree. But other than that, if you don't mind using the raid messages, first one is for subscribers, second one is for followers. If you don't mind just using them to whenever we raid into Hero, both as a way to say hello, but also as a way to register you as a viewer in their chat and help contribute to his view count, because Twitch is weird. And Twitch really needs you to type into someone's chat before it registers as a viewer. It's really, really weird. It's really, really annoying. And this is the only way we can do to help others out. So copy the raid message, drop it into their chat, and I will see you guys on Friday, all right? Take care. Be good to each other. And radishes, I'll see you online. I'll see you online, radishes. Bye-bye.